there's a lot of things we got to do to begin to make uh, the situation here and one where you actually have equal rights. You have equality before the law. You're able to do businesses any place in Mi'kmaq territory. Let me tell you a little bit about that. One of the most important things I think I'm trying to get across, not just here but all over, is that what's the real definition of your lands? Since there was never a surrender, all of the land here is lands reserved for Indians. But you have something even greater over that. You also have a treaty. Your nation has that right actually to make laws concerning that whole treaty area. I know you're not at that stage yet, but it'll develop, and maybe it'll be the only way that eventually you're going to be able to claim a position in your country where your people have at least an equal standard of living to everybody else. And you have wealthy people too out there, because the businesses that you're going to have could be in anything. Could be furniture, could be AI, could be any number of things. And it's not just as we're doing a big fight on cannabis right now, and that'll probably continue for a while, but eventually we'll beat them on using the Constitution. Hey guys, that was the best thing I ever done, was get those sections in the Constitution. It's powerful. Okay, the status of your land is you have absolute title to it. That's what this means, that you have the constitutional right through the Royal Proclamation, 1763, and you have the treaty right through, I'm going to go back to 1725. See, in 1725, what they had to do was they had to get a ceasefire from not just Mi'kmaq, but all of the First Nations that England was dealing with. I don't know, so I think there was about 30 or 40 of them. But you're still under a ceasefire. Did you know that, from 1725? And these guys, this stuff is all constitutionalized because it contains a lot of rights there. And they're yours. And one of the things back then was that, they were trying to claim land, with all the different surrenders we own the land, but the Indians said, no, you don't. You've never owned the land. We own it. And we've owned it for thousands of years. Where were you then? So they kind of dropped that, and what they ended up with was our kingdom will extend to wherever the Royal Proclamation is in effect, but you will own your own land. And if we need that land, we will have to purchase it from you. And that's sort of the I guess the state that you're in today, is that they've never purchased anything from you. So your rights are totally intact in it. And it's even better because you never surrendered anything. We probably haven't been able to do anything up until now because we're just learning the legal aspects of what's really there and how powerful the Constitution is, and our people are just starting to begin to learn that the most powerful thing you have is your nationhood. You're not Canadian. You're Mi'kmaq or Maliseet or whatever, and be proud of that. But you all have the same rights. So it essentially means you can go any place. You have the same rights anyway. So it's just that you're all related, really. So, but as I said, this fight with the provinces now it's really kind of just beginning, and you guys right now are kind of at the forefront, but it'll keep moving. Racism is hard to beat. When you look at what's happened in the U.S. with the blacks, they were freed from slavery, Christ, damn near 175 years ago, and look where racism, it's alive and well there. So you have to expect that, hey, this is going to continue, but they may not like you anymore, but they'll start to respect you. So, and you've got to stand up. You've got to stand up, Mi'kmaq Nation. And again, this is a problem that the province here faces. Is that, and I'm finding out through the courts that they know very little about Aboriginal treaty rights, and unfortunately, your lawyers are in the same position. They don't know much, and so they've been unable to really help anyone, because how the heck are they going to mount a proper defense using the proper tools that are available to our people out there? The constitutional arguments, they can't do it. And I'm finding, well, Jesus, what's wrong with these people? You know, I just, my first thought was, they got to be damn lazy as hell, you know. And but in the end, I thought, well, on the other hand, the system just never taught them. So, but they can learn. They can learn this, and maybe eventually that's probably what'll happen. You know, yeah, because everybody needs to know and understand your rights. So that's how eventually things will get solved. They need to know as well. But it is going to be a fight for a while. Racism is, and I know everybody here has had their taste of it probably several times. I know I have. The first step is who owns the land. If we can get a case in there and get this issue resolved, and we've got some precedents out, a couple out there already now, probably BC, because this is a similar kind of situation, but I say it's even legally better. How do you supersede your absolute title with provincial crown land that was just stacked onto your title, and without any discussion with you at all? And how do they get around this? Because essentially they're using the doctrine of discovery to justify all of that, and the doctrine of discovery permeates all of the Indian Act, Canada's racist Indian Act, as well as their first big case in court was the St. Catharines Milling case, and that just almost total doctrine of discovery. Well, doctrine of discovery essentially says that any of the colonists from Europe can come over here and displace any brown-skinned people off their lands, and they can enslave them or do those kinds of things. And they did that. Well, except that they couldn't do it to us. I know they couldn't do it to our people. They didn't know how to fight in the bush. And your development of the treaty structure here was really important, because this was the blueprint for the development of the Royal Proclamation, and Britain got everybody to endorse it. So even my people endorsed the 1725 treaty. We were here to sign off on it. So essentially that means that all the rights that exist out there through any treaties apply all over Canada.